I'd like to give more praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shara, Kwakadash, and double honors to the elders. Salutations to the apostles and the brothers who are laboring in truth day and night, night and day. And to you sincere sisters who, like I said, loving Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, loving yourself, respecting yourself, loving your children, loving your husband, respecting your husbands, and doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. Yeah, so scripture right here, it says, man arrested for allegedly spraying HIV contaminated blood into hospital employees' eyes. My question is how the fuck did you get contaminated HIV blood? You know what I'm saying? Like where did you get this from? You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't understand. Let's read. It said 25-year-old man was arrested nearly 6 months after allegedly attacking hospital staff with his own HIV positive blood. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so he has HIV. Cameron Gilchrist reportedly tore out his IV and spread blood into the eyes of 2 emergency workers at UNC's Rex Hospital while receiving diabetes treatment on March 21st. So he got diabetes and he got HIV. Okay. While receiving diabetes treatment on March 21st, he now faces 2 assault charges in this shocking incident. It just seemed like the man is going through it, man. The man, it's a case of him angry. I ain't justifying what he doing, man, because that type of shit will get you killed, man. You know what I'm saying? So, it's wrong what you doing, man. I know you mad and things ain't going your way, but you don't cause this type of issue or affect these type of problems onto people, man. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you're going through, brother, you gotta pray to the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these dudes are wicked, man, as hell, man, And it's uncalled for what you did, man. That's why I said, man, Jake is going to find out, and at the end. These are all the curses that's put upon us, man. First, if I was you, brother, I would try to go find some kind of healing, some herbalistic healing, and heal yourself. But since you put yourself out there, the hospital is going to put your face, and the police department or the law enforcement is going to put your face out there. And this is bad behavior, man. This is when you're doing stuff like this, man, it tells me one thing, man. You're hurt, man. You're hurt spiritually because nobody in their right mind, even with HIV, wouldn't do such a thing. And all these things are just sicknesses, man. It could be healed, man. And when they killed Dr. Sabi, man, they killed that Zebulon brother, man, because that brother had the access to heal and to put people back into recovery from a stage of death back into a stage of living. And how he did that is because he told his story, whatever, but you guys can look that up. I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm trying to make the video short. He said that he had a revelation where, God told him to go to Mexico. He met a herbalist, a guy from Mexico, taught him how to heal. And he went back to his country, to Honduras. And then he started healing people and started getting so big. He started healing celebrities and all types of people, man, was being healed from these sicknesses, they sexually transmitted diseases, from high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancers and tumors. I mean, the man did it all. So, but magically, the government didn't like what he was doing, because once you start affecting the government's pockets, what you do is you're making the stock, the lambs, come back to the shepherd who cares for them. And while the government is like a ravenous wolf coming to attack the flock, right? And the government don't like when you intercede or you project a theory, or you have a truth behind it that can help deliver people that's sick, right? Or whatever the case may be, depending on the topic and the situation that we're dealing with. So I say this, right? This young man here, you're going to jail, man. And you're going to suffer and get jail treatment, which is worse medically, from you getting outside help, which is still worse, but at least they're a little bit more efficient, right, to a degree, just to be suffering. And then the COs don't care if you have HIV. They don't care if you got diabetes. They will fuck you up. They don't care if you got that. But if they know you have it, they'll try to stay away from you as much as possible. Because there's men and women in the prison system that are suffering from HIV. And people don't want to get that on them. You know, they don't want to get contaminated. They don't want to get zombie-like or infected. So they stay the fuck away from you. You know. And then you got certain medications where it suppresses it. There was a lady that I met one day, and she used to work at the same job that I worked, you know, when I was doing security. And I used to work in the dorm with the college students. And I never forget her. Her name was Renee. I never forget her. I don't know if she's still alive. I don't know if she's still around. I don't know. But when I met her, she was a little bit she was older than me. You feel me? And she was telling me that her husband, right, or a guy that she was with before, she said he had HIV, right? She said that when he went into the military, they give him this shot where the shot, right? The shot kills the HIV or suppress it. When he has sexual intercourse, the HIV strand don't come out. Yo, I know it sounds kind of far-fetched. I'm only going based on what this lady told me. I remember she told me this back in 2007. It's 2007. I remember this. I was working at this job. 2008. And when she told me, I looked at her like, what? She looked at me. She said, yeah. She said, my husband or boyfriend, whatever, she was like, yo, I got a kid by him or something like that. And I don't got it. I'm looking at her like, why the fuck is you telling me this? You feel me? And I'm looking at her like, so what are you trying to tell me? You trying to what? Have me what? Do what? You feel me? And so me and Renee was pretty cool, pretty tight. You know, I think she was trying to get at me, but she's trying to make it innocent where it was like, nigga, don't say nothing. You know, I'm gonna let you meet my husband. You know, I'm a young kid at this time. So she like, yo, sweetheart, don't worry, because she used to like drop me off, pick me up, you know, I'm young, so I'm not seeing these. I see it, but I'm like, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, man, I ain't fucking with this shit. But she will come see me when I went to a different location. It was just like, I'm like, what the fuck this girl doing? But I didn't think not much of it. I'm just thinking, because, you young and naive, you don't understand. So anyway, making long story short, she was telling me about these things. And I'm a very good listener, and I pay attention. And I said, yo, what kind of shit is this? But I never got a chance to look it up or do the research. And I kept that memory all up to this day. I will never forget it when she told me about that, but from the Army. So I know that, wait a minute, the Army got these specifications of medicine or to heal you and to clear you. So I'm like, where the fuck did they get this from? So I already know that the government, that's the government law enforcement. It's these people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's their soldiers. So of course they're gonna give them extra, incentives to help them any way possible. So I'm like, damn. So if the government has got something to help you to get so-called get rid of it, allegedly, then why is it a problem for a herbalist to do it or to help or heal people from their sicknesses? So this young man here, man, it's out of frustration, man. And I don't know what caused him to be angry. Maybe he just found out he had it. Maybe he had a sexual intercourse with a young lady. Maybe he did it with a man. Maybe this is judgment for you. I don't know. But Jake, you off, man. You these things that you're doing, stop. And I get it, man. You frustrated. You're 25 years old. You said, I'm young. What women want to be with me? I got AIDS. I got HIV. I'm on the verge. I could die. These medicines are expensive, and I got diabetes. So it's heartbreaking, man. And so I don't feel sorry for what he did, because he's gonna get your punishment. But on the other side of it, it's sad because you got these things. I don't know if he was born with it. I don't know, so I can't say. You know what I'm saying? But you don't do no shit like that. You don't take your affected blood and put it in somebody's eyes. And what the fuck is you doing? So they have a right. Everyone has a right to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of what you're doing, man. Be very mindful of what you're doing. All right. So yeah, I just want to make sure the video that I seen, man. So I hope the video is edifying. I hope you guys, be careful out there. A lot of you brothers or your sisters that's working in this field, the hospital field, be very careful with these patients, man. Be very careful, man. And I know you guys are doing, a job. I know you guys work diligently. I know you guys, you put your life on the line at these hospitals and dealing with these psych wards. And I get it, because cause my wife, she does it. She works for the psych ward, and my wife, she's a big time supervisor there. So I understand that. I understand it. I may not relate to it, but I understand that it's a hard job. It's not easy, man. So you got to deal with all kind of people with different kind of spirits. So if you brothers and sisters are working in this field, man, I just be careful, man, with these type of people, man, because you just never know. I wouldn't wish that on anybody for that to happen, man. So like I said, if you brothers are working in this hospital, man, be careful, brothers and sisters. Be careful, man. Try to go home to your family in one piece. And I understand and how it feels to work with the public. I work with them every day. I don't know what I'm going to get going or coming out of. So I thank the Lord, man, for watching over me, man, saying the Lord's Prayer, because you don't know what you're going to go into. And I met a couple nutcases, but that's not my place to judge them. I ain't judging them, I'm just stating the obvious fact. You got a lot of these people have a lot of mental conditions, and then housing my job, and they know this, and when we're going to help the tenants, to make their life, much easier and make them feel, make their home feel like a home, by doing the repairs and, just doing the right thing. But it's hard and it's sad because sometimes you have these people, they don't come with warning labels. It doesn't say, oh, I have this, don't do this. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes we have to find out the hard way by hearing or seeing, or whatever, and a buck is being passed around through the grapevine and we hear it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like damn if you do and damn if you don't, because if you don't, then it's kind of feel like it's insubordination, but you're not trying to be insubordinate, you're just trying to be safe with your life. And if anybody doesn't respect your life and you care about the job and we just a number, then how should we feel? We should feel like what? We are entitled because you cutting check. You didn't pay me to be a medical physician. You paid me to do repairs and to fix and bring back, the proper conditions of the living conditions that people can live in a comfortable setting. That's what you paid me for. Not to be a medical physician and to make determination if I should or not or gamble with my life. So yeah, I deal with that on an everyday basis. I deal with all types. You see all kind of people, man. Crackheads, all types of people, man. Mentally disabled people, elderly people, all kind of people. But I thank God that I'm over here by the senior centers, man. By the seniors, man. And sometimes we go to different areas, but mainly my site is here, so I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, so guys, if you're working for these agencies that's, whether it's in New York City or Chicago, Detroit, whatever your respective state is from, excuse me, that you're living, just be mindful, man. Protect yourself and, do your job the best way you can, and try to be a team player. But stuff like this, man, you got to be very careful at these hospitals, man. I never wanted to ever work in hospitals, and I never want to be in that field. You know what I'm saying? It's not because I don't like it. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? And for brothers and sisters who do it, who's in that field, yo, man, I wish you the best of luck of everything, man, because that shit is not easy, man. Dealing with people that's sick and they got cancer and hearing their moans and their cries, and it's not easy, man. Changing their bed sheets and my mother was going through a rough time at that time in the hospitals, and she felt like they was treating her wrong, and they was, and I had to let the staff know, politely, and I had to get ugly on them, and then tell them and say, yo, listen, man, this is my mother, man. How would you feel if your mother was this way? Yo, have your mother ever been here? Oh no, so then why you treat my mother like this? Or why your staff is treating my mother like this? You got my mother sitting in this motherfucking bed, and with fucking urine and shit, and I was mad, man. I had to tell him, man. I said, what kind of professionalism is this? What kind of business you're living in? You trying to treat my mother because you mad? This is what your job is. People are gonna get upset. People are gonna get angry. People don't take cancer lightly. That's not nothing that you take lightly or put a smile on your face. This is about your life. You could die. So you gotta have tough skin and deal with certain things. I'm not saying to deal with the nastiness, but know how to work around it. Or if you can't, get someone else who can do it, or get the fuck out of the field. It's not there for you to be cute to wear a uniform and say you are some kind of success in that field. People's lives are at stake here. You're helping lives. You're not there to be cute and be taking solo pictures and selfies and putting it on the gram and looking good because you got a fat ass. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. So, but like I said, these hospitals do have diligent workers that care for people. For those people, I give that to you, But anyway, like I said, man, got to be careful how these hospitals treat you. My mother was just going off and upset. And she saw how they did with her brothers and sisters, so she didn't want to go through the same treatment, which they were doing that to her. But I think that my mother as well, she was playing a part of being kind of like, like a big baby, and just everything is a problem. everything couldn't be a problem, but she made it to be a problem because she didn't want them to take no avenues of hurting her in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So it was real tough at the time, man. The beginning of this year, and even to last year of December, my mother was dealing with this. And a lot of people don't understand what the fuck I be going through, because I don't elaborate or express myself. But when I do, or I walk every day, I got problems too. So people keep thinking like their problems or their feelings fucking matter. You know, so that's why I had to delete people out of my life, because you don't know what I'm going through. I gotta hear your shit and deal with your shit. My mother is going through something since November of 2024, you know, or October, you know, just to find out she had it. You know, so I don't understand why people feel like you own them something, you know. And I got a loved one here that's sick. But anyway, I gotta go. You know, guys, be careful in these jobs, man. You know, I don't want to get too carried on, you know, with my tongue, whatever. But guys, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. You know, shalom, and let Yahweh Shem Shai protect you guys, man. And let me say the Lord's Prayer before we leave. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. So that's the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, and that's the prayer that you're supposed to pray every morning, man, or any day, any time of the day. But when soon you get up, you thank the Lord that you up, and then hopefully the Lord spare your life when you're leaving, you're in the workplace, man. So the Lord is very merciful and grateful, you know, and you know, just do your best you can, guys. Shalom.